Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Average Uninformed. This week we are checking out Fast and Furious presents Hobbs Shaw. Here's our review, so grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy.
I just drank 60 pounds. No problem.
I did that today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I worked out. Have you noticed?
See your gut hanging over your pants.
It was sucking in.
I'm just kidding, man. I just know your Achilles heel. It's your Achilles gut.
It's not. What?
A lot of people don't know that Achilles actually had a beer gut. People made fun of him for it.
Because wasn't he like super strong and protected with his superpower skin?
Wasn't it like his mom dipped him in the river Styx?
Yeah.
But then like held him by his heel?
So wait, the heel didn't go in because that's why it's weak.
Yeah.
But the rest of his foot did?
Yeah, so she like dipped him, and then just what was left was her little fingertips holding onto his heel, and then pulled him out. And I don't know why you wouldn't dip him again.
It's just a one dip rule. You can't double dip.
You can't. No, you can't double dip the kid.
Wait, both heels?
I don't know. Maybe she did a double. She's holding each heel with two. Because yeah, have you ever lifted a baby? They're hard to carry just by their heels.
I mean, at that point, all right. Just do what they do with baptizing kids. You just dunk them in, right? Like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd have amazing hands.
Yeah. Isn't it like, maybe there's more to this myth than I know? Because isn't the river Styx, doesn't it kill you if you touch it? Like, isn't that why?
I think that's God of War.
Well, it's based off of Greek mythology, Victor.
No, but like.
What's the guy's name who the ferryman, you know, he takes you over the river Styx. It's like
Necro.
What?
Oh, you said something.
And it's going to kill me. I think it's like necropolis. I'm going to look it up because I care that much.
It's a
You know, the question is when I read it, whether I'll be able to read it aloud. Sharon.
I knew it.
It's probably Karen. Either or. It's a funny name. Charon.
You know what they say? Sharon is Karen.
Nice. Victor, how was your week, man?
Oh, not bad. Actually, it's fine, you know.
Did you go back to the Brit? Did he make you work out? Did you get fit with the Brit?
I tried today. It's really difficult to concentrate on doing the exercise properly, proper form, when 6'3", 60-year-old British man is encouraging you with his really thick accent.
Mm-hmm. What does that sound like again?
You know, I don't even want to do it right now. I guarantee I'm not going to make it through it.
All right. Yeah. I made a healthy choice today. Sort of. Well, sort of. So I haven't had pop in 4 weeks or something like that.
Pretty good.
Which is going from having pop like every day to none at all for 4 weeks. So I had a pop today with lunch for the first time in 4 weeks. It tasted different.
Like a good different?
No, it's like I could taste the sugar in it. I don't know. There was just like, it's tasted sweeter than normal.
Because your tongue hasn't.
But not like
it's no longer used to the sugar.
Yeah. So that was weird. And then it just shot right through me.
Gross. But that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Probably cleaned you out.
Yeah. So it was a good day. I don't have to work out today.
What?
Because it shot right through me.
I don't think that's how the body works.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Okay.
Talk to someone with bulimia. They know.
Who am I going to find?
Anyway.
People just have friends with bulimia? Is that a common thing?
Yeah. It's like we have a black friend. You have a friend with bulimia.
I don't have a black friend.
You don't have a black friend?
I don't even have an Asian friend.
I have several Asian friends.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm very woke. I don't know if you know this.
That's terrible. Let's move on. How was your week, Josh?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I had something to say to you.
You said a lot of things to me tonight so far.
What did I do this week? Do I have a story for you? Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. I'll remember after you leave and I'll be like, oh, that was the story.
You just record it?
Yeah. Just put it in and then just take generic responses from you.
Really? Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't sound right. That makes sense.
That's a terrible name. That's you. Should we get in the news, Victor?
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right. Let's start off with some nice news. Stan Lee's going to have a street named after him in New York City.
That's cool.
If memory serves, it's somewhere on University Ave because that's where he used to live. So just like a stretch.
That's nice.
A couple blocks will be named after him. That is nice. Good for him.
Has there been a character, creator, writer that has had this many movies made from a character that, or a series that they've generated?
That is a good question.
Like J.K. Rowling has the Harry Potter movies and the Fantastic Beasts.
There's George Lucas. Although I wouldn't say that he is universally as well loved as Stan Lee is.
Oh, not even caring about the like quality. Is more or less the quantity at this point.
Yeah. Like what counts? Because like George Lucas has created a bunch of characters. He's only had one franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Stephen King?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess that would be he'd be up there. I guess George Lucas he's got like 9 Star Wars movies, a bunch of spin-offs, a bunch of TV shows.
That's true. Gene Roddenberry for Star Trek. Oh, you know what? Ian Fleming, James Bond.
Oh shit. Wait. How many James Bond movies have there been?
There's been like 25 or something like that.
All right.
It's Ian Fleming, right?
It sounds right.
I don't want to look it up. I'm done looking stuff up tonight.
You looked up one thing.
Yeah, that was my limit.
You didn't even find the answer for it.
Yes, it was. It was Sharon.
Or Karen.
I didn't know the pronunciation of it, but...
Might be funny if we were completely wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
It's Charation.
Sharon. Well, it gave me 2 spellings. It was either Sharon, Charon, or Karen, Kharon.
You can't have both spellings for your name. Just like I can't have Viktor.
Unless you're Russian.
No, they're wrong.
Victor. If your name was spelled with a K, that's how I would say your name all the time.
Would you explain it too? After every time you say it?
Yes.
We wouldn't be friends.
No. So, Victor. I was listening to Fat Man Beyond this week, and they were doing a San Diego Comic-Con wrap-up as well.
Crap, did they blow us out of the water?
Probably. I don't know. They have more fans than us. But anyway,
that makes sense.
Kevin Smith's friend, Kevin Smith's co-host, Mark Bernardin. So they were talking about the actor David Dismulchen. Do you know who that is? We've talked about him a few times.
Then yes, I 100% remember.
He plays Kurt in the Ant-Man movies, like the guy with the pompadour, like the Russian guy.
Yeah.
If he saw you, he would pronounce your name Victor.
Is that where this was going?
No. Anyway, and they're friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, man, he's been blowing up lately. Like he's going to be in so many movies. And then they started naming off movies. So they're like Dune, Suicide Squad 2, Guardians 3. Really? And then they just moved on. Like to me, I was like, that's news.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's already in the MCU in the Ant-Man movies. So I doubt he's playing that same character, but he's definitely friends with James Gunn. So maybe nothing. He may have misspoke, but David Dismulchen might be in Guardians 3.
Sounds like he is.
Yeah.
Play some like throwaway villain.
Or alien
henchman.
Or something like that. Because he's already in the MCU, so he has to look different if he's going to be in it.
No, it's the exact same guy.
All right. He's just playing Kurt in space.
He's out there with Nick Fury.
Yeah. This is the work of gypsies. Anyway, this is the news for this week, Victor. There's just speculation, and that's about it. Do you want to keep going with Marvel, or do you want to move on to something else?
You do whatever you want, man.
You know what? I got another speculation for you from Marvel. As I told you earlier, off air, I was watching the commentary for Avengers Endgame this week, and right at the end of it, the Russos. You remember the scene at the end where Thor is on Star-Lord's ship?
Yeah.
And they're talking about who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the Russo brothers said on the commentary, you know, I would watch 1 or 2 of these movies of just these guys.
Mm-hmm. As Guardians of the Galaxy.
And the way he said it, like it was kind of like a knowing, like I know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made me think, because we were all assuming that Thor's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. What if the Guardians are in Thor 4?
Oh, I figured that'd be a given.
You think it would be a given?
Yeah, well, they leave on the ship with Thor.
Do you think, though, that it's just at the beginning of the movie? There's like, okay, see you later, guys, or whatever. There's just one scene. Or do you think they're throughout it?
You know that movie we watched tonight? And you know how that one character that we really like shows up? I feel like that's the amount of Guardians of the Galaxy I would expect to see.
Okay.
Which is like not a lot, but enough to leave an impression. You know?
Okay. Well, let's continue right along with the Marvel Cosmic. Apparently, Marvel is looking into using Galactus and Tyrant.
What's a Tyrant?
That's what I said. Apparently, he is one of Galactus's heralds,
Oh.
and he was made by Galactus, not like, because you know how like Galactus has heralds where he like picks a guy off a planet and just imbues them.
Yeah.
He apparently made this guy, and he is just as I don't know. This is just like regurgitating information that someone else has regurgitated from a fan wiki. And
you know, it's funny when you said Tyrant, I pictured the Tyrant from Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah, with the one arm. Is that Tyrant? No, that's Nemesis.
He's a really pale looking buff dude with a black trench coat.
But is like one of the eyes like
nope, he's perfectly normal. Albino, The Rock Johnson.
All right. So what do you think about that? Galactus?
Galactus makes the most sense.
Yeah, right? Like that would be your next Thanos.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to make him interesting.
Oh, it'd be kind of cool if Galactus is coming and he's not sitting on a chair waiting. He's on his way and it's just a countdown. It's just a matter of time he gets here. So like every movie is like a countdown towards it.
Every after credit scene is just him coming closer. It's just the same post credit scene. Just him just traveling, but they've just changed the space behind him.
Or no, it's the same space, but like he's just getting bigger. Every scene, 10 seconds of him moving closer towards the camera. See, we should be writing for Marvel. I don't know what's going on.
I think we have good ideas. No, I like that idea. That
because like I don't know, Infinity War, it's like Thanos does his thing all in one movie. It'd be kind of cool if you get snippets of Galactus just devouring worlds, and you see like a little bit. You see planets that we've been to in the movies.
So okay, let's pretend we're Kevin Feige for a second. So let's say that's
we're both Kevin Feige.
Yeah, we both are. We there's two of us.
Whoa! How did this happen?
All right, we'll just skip ahead past the initial shock of suddenly there's two of us. But anyway, so we've decided we're going to do Galactus for our next Endgame. Do you do a Silver Surfer movie before that?
I feel like you would do the Silver Surfer, or like you would introduce Silver Surfer kind of throughout the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Galactus would be out of the movies, kind of like Thanos was. I feel like it'd be, because then you're redoing the same thing. I feel like it makes more sense to I feel like you have to inject him throughout the movies, just bits here and there, and then kind of introduce Silver Surfer as you go along. Kind of like how they introduced like Black Panther.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I don't think Silver Surfer is, I mean, granted, I've never read any of his solo stuff, but his origin, I don't know if I need to see a 2-hour movie around his origin.
Well, plus, I don't know, like your odds are you're going to be seeing this movie from any of the other heroes' perspective.
Hopefully Fantastic Four.
So like having a mysterious character like him without any real background is kind of cool. Like if you get hints of it. I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to take a page out of Spider-Man like playbook that they've been following, whereas they ignore everything that's already been done.
But it's been so long since the last Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, but I feel like they're still going to do it because then just to separate them.
I guess so.
Like, what's the most comic accurate way to introduce Silver Surfer that hasn't been done?
That hasn't been done because they did pretty accurate.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty accurate with the second Fantastic Four movie. Other than like the fart cloud at the end with Galactus, but like his whole, like even just explaining his backstory and like the fact that he found humanity through Sue Storm and
oh dang it.
I mean the whole thing with Doom trying to steal his power and stuff like that. I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, I feel like they tacked that on. Oh, it'd be cool if Silver Surfer was the focus of a Fantastic Four movie.
Like just him? Like there's no Galactus coming?
No,
it's just he showed up.
Just him? Because he always goes to planets first, right? Before Galactus moves in. So it'd be kind of cool if you deal with him for the entire movie, and that's the warning of Galactus is coming. I just want for the next few phases to have villains that reoccur.
Yeah.
Not as like, hey, it's Red Skull this movie and it's Red Skull the next movie, and then maybe Red Skull again down the line. Like, I just want a villain to show up in another movie, maybe not the main focus, but be like, hey, you remember this guy? Well, he survived, and here he is helping the next big bad.
Yeah, I'd like that too. Just some continuity with some villains.
Yeah.
Because we got all these heroes now. We've only lost like 4 of them since 10 years ago when we started.
Like who?
Iron Man,
exactly.
Black Widow,
I don't know what any of those are.
Vision. Anyway, speaking of comic book movies, Victor. Ava DuVernay, who is directing a New Gods movie for DC. She was on a Twitter MMA and talking about something else, but inevitably someone asked her about it. And she confirmed that Darkseid will be in the New Gods movie and the Furies, which is pretty cool.
Well, out of all those names and titles you've mentioned, I recognize Darkseid.
Okay. So you don't know anything about New Gods?
Nope.
Okay, so New Gods is like, Darkseid is a new god. So there's 2 different warring species. There's Darkseid, who lives on Apokolips, and I can't remember the name of the one guy, but he's like the High Father, and he lives on New Genesis, and they've been fighting for years and years and years. And so in order to do a peace, at one point they trade their firstborn sons with each other. And so Darkseid raises the High Father's son and vice versa. And so the High Father's son is Mr. Miracle.
What? That's a
they all
terrible
have
name.
Weird names. And then the High Father raises Darkseid's son, whose name is Orion, I believe.
Yeah.
And so there's a prophecy that the son of Darkseid will kill Darkseid, but they don't know which one that actually means because one is raised by him and one is actually his blood. And anyway, so they war all the time and they're just never ending, like with their fighting.
That's good. I mean, as long as they have the resources, go for it, I guess. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been reading the Mr. Miracle comic that came out this year. It is good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, and the Furies, that's cool. I don't really know much about them, but I believe they're the team that Big Barda was on before she fell in love with Mr. Miracle.
Yep, totally recognize that name too.
Yep, you got it? You understand?
100%.
Cool. Moving on. All right, let's talk about this. Did you hear about the kid win the Fortnite tournament? Won $3 million?
What?
He's 16 years old.
That's awesome.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Why?
Because like there's parts of me that are like, stupid kid gets $3 million. And I don't know if it's like jealousy or if it's like the fact that he did it playing video games and I'm mad about that.
I mean, if you break it down to that, then it's like there are guys being paid millions of dollars to throw a ball around.
That's where my thoughts lead me as well. Like
there's guys just throwing balls around.
But that takes some, like, not that Fortnite doesn't take some skill, I guess. But
I don't know. You can even look at it just like this guy trains to be the best at this thing, and people are interested and entertained by that thing. And in order to get people to watch and make money off that, they have to pay these guys to be
right,
interested in it.
I just think being a part of our generation, we grew up with our parents telling us video games are a waste of time, right?
True, but I was also told that like drawing's not going to make me money.
And look at you now. You're an out of work artist.
What?
No. So yeah, we grew up with our parents being like, you need to go outside. It's a waste of time. It'll rot your brain. And I think I'm just kind of mad that this kid has made $3 million playing video games, especially because he's 16 years old.
I mean, I don't know.
That's too much money to have at 16.
It really is. That will mess with his mind a bit. He'd have to have like ridiculous control. But I don't know. Also think about it this way. We grew up in the generation where video game competitions where you won money were so rare. You'd have to be so good and so well known to even have any kind of recognition for it. Whereas now it's like my little brother, he's entered 3 Fortnite competitions and he's done pretty well actually.
Okay. I hate that I know who Ninja is.
I still don't know who that is.
Oh, good for you. Ninja is like...
Don't tell me. I don't care.
Fair enough.
I guarantee you that guy probably makes more money than I do.
Yeah.
In a month.
Playing video games.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's fine. I don't know. There's guys that play basketball.
But see, even that though, like even though they get paid millions of dollars, in my head, I'm still like, that's a silly career goal. You know what I mean? Like if you were growing up with someone and they're like, I'm going to be in the NBA, you'd be like, yeah, good luck with that. Right?
I mean,
like no matter how good
yeah.
they were, you would be like, yeah, okay. And it would be this, now it's the same thing. It'd be like, I'm going to be a famous Twitch star. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I've known guys that started that and have gone down the road of failure.
Right?
So
it's become like the next actor. Like I want to go to Hollywood and be a star.
Yeah, I'd say that's up there.
Yeah, I'm just kind of esports champion.
Yeah. But the difference is though, the rate of success happens so much more frequently when you're younger here. Mm-hmm. I guess because you have all that time to like play.
But okay, and here's the other thing. I think this is where I come down with it, is that Fortnite is not going to be around in 60 plus years.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so in your mind, does that make esports more challenging because you're always having to adapt to new games and new strategies? Or do you think there's like something romantic and classical about like basketball? Because it's such an old game, people can strategize and create these like really
I feel like basketball has like there is a fundamental skill in that, but then I think the way the game is played changes throughout time, because there's been so many like regulation changes and like rules that's been altered throughout the like decades that like you have to kind of adjust. And I think the same thing applies to like esports. Like, yeah, you know what? Like if you're good at first person shooter here, you're probably going to be good at a third person shooter. If you're good at a fighting game, you're probably going to be good at this fighting game. But like the fundamentals there, you know what to look for to be good. But I still think you're still going to have to play accordingly, which is kind of cool. Because yeah, Overwatch was a huge thing for a while, and like I was actually paying attention to like people that were in that, and then I kind of stopped caring after it kind of died down. Mm-hmm. But then I saw their names, the same players I was following in like Fortnite and in like what was it, Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like they've moved on. Like those are completely different things. It's like you kind of envy the guys that can jump between games like that and still be at the top.
I don't know if I envy that, but recognize skill.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess the same thing with basketball too. Like if you're athletic there, like odds are if you like move to a similar sport, like you'd have a better edge than most people.
I don't know. Look at Michael Jordan when he went to baseball.
Oh yeah.
That's a dated reference.
About that. I forgot.
See, because there was this basketball player named Michael Jordan. He was the greatest one ever. Anyway, I don't know. There's like that whole isolationist thing too. Like to play video games, you don't really have to interact with people. Like there is team components to certain games and like you're talking to people online, but there's no, you know what I mean? There's no face to face.
Well, no, if you're face to face with someone, you're not playing the game very well.
I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to find ways to crap on it because maybe I'm a little jealous as a 6-year-old kid made $3 million playing video games.
Yeah.
Like if I made $3 million, I feel like I would be set for most of the rest of my life.
I don't know, man. $3 million goes by pretty quick.
But see, that I'm practical, right? I wouldn't be like, well, we're going to buy a house and like, I'd be like, okay, well now I have.
Oh, it's a smart thing to do. Is buy a bunch of houses and start renting them out.
That's
perpetual money.
This is why I would be better at. The 6-year-old kid's probably like, I'm going to buy so many Yoo-Hoos. It's going to be great. Cheetos, Doritos, all the red vines I want.
The what?
I'm just naming off American treats now.
But like, if they're smart enough to like have trained in themselves and gotten themselves to that area, do you think they'd be dumb enough to buy a bunch of bottles of milk and chips?
They were stupid enough to consider video games for a living.
Stupid enough, or they just kind of clown it?
I don't know. I
like
saw this guy, Jimmy
Josh.
Fallon. He just seemed like a regular 60-year-old kid. And in my experience, myself included, when I was 16-year-old, we were pretty dumb.
Fair.
I would not have been like, you know what? I'm going to invest this and I'm going to buy some houses. Maybe I'll flip them. Maybe I'll rent them out. Who's to say?
Oh man, I hope that kid has good parents. Because I don't
know. They let him play video games every day.
maybe they recognize his strength and we're like, oh man, that kid, it's gonna make some money, more money than we've made in this past like decade.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, how disheartening would that be? As a parent, your kid makes more money than you that you've made in years.
See, that's why you love your kids.
And they do it playing video games, man.
And then that way, when they do make money, they won't resent you and leave, but they'll care for you and say, "Hey, Dad, want to quit your job? You remember that car that you've always wanted?"
He should pay off their mortgage. That's what he should do with his $3 million. Anyway, we've been talking about this for a long time. We should move on. Anyway, last bit of news. Andy Serkis is going to be directing Venom 2.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, has he directed before?
Yeah, he's done a few movies. He did that second Jungle Book movie. There was like the Jon Favreau Disney one that came out like 6 months before he did his, which is really bad timing.
Yep.
And so no one watched his, but he did that. He also was the second unit director on the Hobbit movies. So
okay.
It was basically any time that Peter Jackson was like, I don't have time to do this shot. Can you take a couple guys and do this? So,
and then in his motion capture suit, he would just slink away as if he was Smeagol with the script. That's how I imagine it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's weird.
Okay.
I'm guessing the only thing that's been released is just that they're making a Venom 2.
Yeah. Well, we can assume that Woody Harrelson's going to come back in that stupid clown wig as Sideshow Bob. Oh, who's he playing? He's playing Cletus Cassidy, the Carnage.
Do we have to talk about this?
No.
I'm kidding. It's fine.
I'm interested if they got Andy Serkis to do it. Like he's an actual like good character driven actor. And usually those kind of actors make really good directors.
I'm just trying to picture that red wig working out.
I mean,
or Woody Harrelson. What's that?
They'll cut his hair.
Or maybe they'll make him grow his hair and just dye it red. I still can't picture it. It's gonna look so bad.
Isn't Woody Harrelson bald?
I thought he shaved it.
I think he shaves it because he's bald.
Well, I think he's bald because he shaves it.
What? No, you said something.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of bald guys, we watched a lot of bald guys punch people tonight.
That could have gone very horribly. We watched Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Terrible name, but it makes a lot of sense, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of, like, I don't know. Do you want people to know it's connected? Like, is that a good or bad thing to be like, we're part of the Fast and Furious franchise?
I mean, I think it's a good thing.
I guess the last one did make over $1 billion.
Like, let's just say you're looking at a list of movies. You see just Hobbs and Shaw.
That's true.
But yeah, we had an interesting evening with that. Sitting at a theater took 30 minutes to get the movie going.
Yeah.
I love watching Angel Has Fallen trailer twice.
It was twice, yeah.
Oh, man.
Almost 3 times.
Almost 3. I was a little bit worried because we watched, it was like, 3 trailers? We watched 3 trailers twice because they had to restart the movie.
Yes.
And they didn't have the decency to skip past it. Or they were just using that just to buy time.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Man, that was rough.
We'd get through the previews and then the movie would, like the lights would come on and the radio would just start playing music again.
Mm-hmm.
That happened 3 times.
Yeah.
We watched previews and then the guy came out and the first time he came out, he was not helpful.
No, he was basically saying like, hey, the movie's not working. It's like, oh, really?
Thank you. Are you sure? Because I thought this black screen that we've been looking at for the past 5 minutes was the start.
It just makes us sound like douches, but yeah. All joking. And then finally, like after like half an hour, he was like, you know what, guys, it's not working in theater 2. Let's move you guys to theater 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. Sure, whatever, not a big deal. And he offered to like refund people if they didn't want to like stick around. I don't know.
Well, I think we could have been refunded even if we stayed.
No, that's how it works.
Yeah. It's like, sorry for your inconvenience. Here's your money back.
Mm. Yeah, well, I don't know. I went into the third theater thinking, all right, cool. It's an empty theater. They got it working this one. But they stopped Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That also started at the same time our movie was supposed to start. So they were half an hour into that movie.
Yeah, that was weird. This was like a little local theater.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Way.
It had 4, 5 theaters?
I think they have 6 auditoriums.
6? But yeah, they moved everyone in number 3 over to number 2.
I feel bad for that theater. Can you imagine someone coming in and be like, listen, someone else is having a problem, so we paused your movie, ruined the theater experience for you, and you guys need to move.
Yeah. And
I'm glad we didn't see that tonight.
but anyways, you want to give like your non-spoiler review for this movie?
I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I love this movie, Josh.
All right, well, let's get into spoilers then. Ryan Reynolds was in this movie.
Holy crap. I think like the first scene with him, I think that might be my favorite scene of all the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah. Just that scene alone, like it just really makes me feel that this was not a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
Like this movie did not feel like any other Fast and Furious movie.
I mean, they had a lot of the car stuff.
Even then, like that was just kind of
stupid car stuff, though.
That was stupid.
There
was a lot of stupid car stuff. I guess it was just that they took the most charismatic people.
Mm-hmm.
Because like all the other Fast and Furious stars,
pretty subdued in terms of like personality.
Yeah, like just like charisma vacuums. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone in this movie was
you just loved watching them
on the level
screen.
of like charisma. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but Ryan Reynolds was in this movie. Okay, so he came in. He was the one who recruited Hobbs on the mission of this movie, and he was essentially just playing Deadpool or
just Ryan Reynolds. He's just Ryan Reynolds.
Second draft Ryan Reynolds. You know what I mean? Like he had some time to write some jokes down. You know, it wasn't all off the cuff, but he was hilarious. And by the end of that scene, I was like, well, now I want to see a Lock and Hobbs.
Yeah. Like, what was it? Like 5-6 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5-6 minutes. Yep.
2-minute scene. And I was just like, I would watch it full 2.5 hours of these two.
Is it just me or like has Hollywood finally recognized that like people love Ryan Reynolds? Because he's been in a lot of stuff, basically doing the exact same character.
I don't know. He's been around a while. I think it's because I think it was Deadpool where people were like, oh, he's like next level funny.
Yeah, he can
like
do this.
He should always be funny.
He can do it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
he shows up a few times in the movie and he's always a scene stealer.
Yeah.
Every time. But anyway, let's get to the movie. Not just the best part of the movie.
It really is.
I'm trying to think now that I said that, if that wasn't in the movie, would you have loved this movie as much?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is like dessert after an amazing meal.
He's like when your table orders fries, like everyone's got their own meal, and you order fries for the table. You don't need it, but it's pretty great.
It's pretty good. And it's funny, who was the guy who recruited Shaw? I
think his name is Rob Delaney.
That sounds right. He plays Peter from Deadpool 2.
Yeah, well, the director of Deadpool 2 directed this movie. David Leitch.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Who's becoming quickly like one of my new favorite action directors.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's a bit of a resemblance between the movies in terms of like style.
Mm-hmm. Like, and he didn't co-direct the John Wick movies, but he was like very hands-on as a producer with them. Like he and his buddy, John Wick was their baby, basically.
Interesting.
So like I was noticing, especially at the beginning, there was a lot of lighting choices. I was like, oh, that's very John Wick.
Yeah. And yeah, because at the beginning of the movie, they do like a split view of Hobbs and Shaw kind of going about their like morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
And Hobbs is very like warmly lit. Shaw's very like cold, gloomy, blue.
But not like depressing, but like kind of like cool.
Like London weather. Cool.
You know how London weather has that cool reputation.
It's basically teal and orange. It's basically teal and orange throughout this entire like first scene.
Which the technical side put aside, I didn't love that they just kind of kept hammering it home throughout the movie that these guys are like the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they had like played to it more, like they brought something different to the table.
You know like they focus more on like Shaw's finesse.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed that, but not nearly as much as they like hammered home the whole fact that they like, they're basically the same tool in a different shell.
Yeah. Which, I wish they had played that differently. Anyway, should we just run down the plot real quick? Do you want to? I can do it.
Okay.
So this MI6 agent, she's on a routine mission at the beginning where she's supposed to extract a virus.
Mhm.
Idris Elba shows up, who's Black Superman,
Yeah. but
and he ruins their mission just as she's extracting it. So she decides the only way that she can save herself and save the virus from getting into his hands is to inject it into herself. So she does that and runs off. And basically, the movie is Hobbs and Shaw are both been tasked with finding her, and then they're just trying to get the virus out of her
before it kills her.
before it kills her and
gets
then the
released
rest of
and
the world.
kills everyone in the world. Yeah.
I realized about halfway through this movie is Tango and Cash meets Mission Impossible 2.
Yep. That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the exact plot of Mission Impossible 2. Or at least MacGuffin, same MacGuffin.
All right. So we've kind of gushed about this movie quite a bit. Any nitpicks aside from the one that you just did?
I don't know. It could just be my hearing, but I couldn't hear what people were saying in the action scenes, especially Jason Statham. Like The Rock would be like, "All right, Shaw, we got to get going." And he'd be like, "Yeah, what's wrong with that?" And he'd be like, "What?"
Well,
he could be saying anything. He'd be like, "Aurora Borealis." And he'd be like, "Sure."
yeah, there was a few times where like they were talking just before they like, well, at the end they're chained up.
Yeah.
And at one point they say something to each other. And I'm like, what?
What did he say?
And then they break on, they say some more stuff. And it's like, what? I'm assuming it's just one-liners.
Yeah.
But then they have a conversation about it. I was like, subtitles.
Yeah.
Come on.
I can't wait to watch this at home and put subtitles
you'd be cool?
on.
Yeah, sorry. This is kind of like a side step, but 3D movies, your glasses have the option to view it with subtitles.
Oh, that would be cool. That's the next thing.
You think so?
No.
Calling it. It probably is, for sure.
That would be kind of cool, though.
Mm-hmm. For the closed caption people?
For the hearing impaired. You know what? That probably exists.
You think so?
Maybe not like subtitles, but maybe like you put like a headphone over, and it's just like
their hearing.
Oh, sorry,
that's
for the sight impaired.
Their hearing is impaired. We'll give them headphones.
It's just one guy yelling, going like, "So Schwarzenegger just said he'll be back."
Yeah, I'm just picturing them explaining the joke too. See, we should also work for like Cineplex because clearly we got some good ideas.
Okay. What were we saying?
Nitpicks.
Yeah, that was one. The movie got real dumb in the last half hour.
Yeah, it got it like the Fast and Furious movies really like the idea of like hammering in that it's all about family.
Yeah.
And they kind of pick at that throughout the movies. But in this one, they kind of do a little bit here and there at the beginning. But then it's like, oh shit, we didn't talk about family at all. So here's it all in the last 20 minutes. And it's like, and it's just delivered so cheesily.
Cheesily. I like that word.
Cheesily.
I like to eat my nachos with cheesily on top.
What?
But yeah, there's dumb fun, which is what the majority of this movie is. And then there's just kind of stupid dumb. And the last action scene, the whole premise, like the third act, didn't work for me.
Really?
Like I thought it was so like not even dumb and like, isn't this funny how dumb this, like it was kind of cringy to me a little bit. Like The Rock comes out with all his Samoan brothers and they do a tribal dance.
It's a tradition to distract them and terrify them with your masculinity.
And like, okay, here's the nitpick for it. Cause then the Fast and Furious ones, it slowly devolved into like people doing ridiculous feats. But there are some things that just like don't make sense at all. Like they go to The Rock's brother because he's the best mechanic in the world to fix a machine that has nothing to do with mechanics.
I mean, I guess a lot of the vehicles nowadays have a lot of electronics in it. So
I guess so, but they didn't say that that's what he was good at. They said he was the best mechanic
in a chop shop.
And it's like the one place in the world he doesn't want to go back to because he had a falling out with his brother 25 years ago, which made me kept doing the math in my head. I was like, wait, how old is he supposed to be? guess he's 45 at
Well,
probably.
the backstory is that like him and his brothers used to be thieves with his dad, and his dad kept doing jobs that were more and more dangerous, and that's why he turned him in, and that's why he left the island because he turned his dad in.
Yeah.
So
As you do.
Let's say, I don't know, 18.
See, and okay, that was another thing. It goes with my point of like them hammering home that they were the same guys. Shaw kind of had the same story.
Did he?
I
didn't hear any of the lines that we're talking about.
Because there's all British people being like, "This is what happened to me." Oh, so I was what?
What?
Exactly. Can you say it again, but slower? So basically, what happened with Shaw was that he was a good guy as well. Both him and Idris Elba were approached by the bad guys to join their team, and Shaw said no. Idris Elba said yes, and then like, well, Shaw now knows that we exist, knows too much, so kill him. And so Shaw fought Idris Elba and won, but then they like made him a traitor.
Yeah.
They framed him, and so like his sister, like it's the same thing where it's like both their families, even though they did the right thing, think they did the wrong thing.
Yeah, okay, I see.
And so there's just that kind of like symmetry where it's just like,
I feel like it could have worked. They showed too much of it. If it was like, oh, hey, they're similar at the beginning because they're both dicks.
Yeah.
But then like throughout the movie, it's like, oh, they're very different people. But then at the end, it's like, oh, but they're actually the same.
Yeah. This was like predictable to me in a few places. Like, of course, it's predictable because you like, okay, they bicker with each other throughout the entire movie. There'll be some action scenes. They'll come together at the end and win. Obviously, you know that from frame one that's going to happen. But there's like moments where when they're on the plane and they're fighting, and then Kevin Hart just shows up inexplicably.
Yeah.
And as he was talking, because he was a flight marshal.
Yeah.
As he was talking, he was like, I could join your team or whatever. And I was just like, he's going to show up again. They're going to use him at some point. And so I was just like waiting for in that scene to be like, he's going to give them his card at some point. Gave him his card. I was like, yep, they're going to call him again at the end of the movie. They did that. And then the other one, I actually audibly groaned. Do you remember when?
No, I probably couldn't hear it.
Oh, you laughed when I did it.
Oh, that probably makes sense.
Was it at the end of the movie? They're fighting Idris Elba. What was his name? Brixton, right?
Black Superman.
They're fighting Black Superman. And they're like, man, he sees all our hits coming. Except for if I get hit, you can punch him. Oh, so we're going to have to work as a team.
Just trade hits.
It's just so on the nose of like, we gotta fight him together as a team, work as one unit.
You know what I would have done? Just had Hobbs just take all the hits.
Yeah, right? Like he's a tank.
Yeah, guy's huge.
Anyway.
Idris Elba. What'd you think of him?
He was a pretty good bad guy. I think all the like his most charismatic lines they used in all the trailers.
Yeah.
And so you think that he's very charismatic and funny throughout it, but then it's kind of few and far between.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was a bit more because I don't know, like I don't know Idris Elba very well for like his movies. But like every movie that I've seen him in, he's always like this very serious. He picks like a lot of good movies. At least the movies I've watched him in. So like him being in this movie, I like that he's got these like goofy lines.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like he understands the kind of movies. He's not trying to make it some epic that is not.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, he could have easily been really boring if he didn't have those few lines, but
yeah, because there was this one line. It was so stupid. Genocide, smenicide, or something like that. I was like, what? That's such a stupid line.
But he sells it.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, he worked well. So basically, he's a superhuman.
He's got a new spine that they've fixed or replaced.
I just want to take this moment to look back at the Fast and Furious franchise and remember where they started, where they were stealing DVD players.
Oh, man.
Look how far we've come, where they're fighting a superhuman with a metal spine and contact lenses that can predict punches.
Oh, yeah, I guess that was the other thing of the spine. It gave him like all this like information.
Yeah.
And he's able to like move super fast.
I guess so.
I thought he was bulletproof, but it's the suit that's bulletproof.
Okay, that makes more sense because every time he got on his motorcycle, he put a helmet on,
Yeah.
and I was like, if you're bulletproof, why are you putting a helmet on?
Stunt double.
Yeah, that's the. I was like, I know the movie reason for that. I was like, what's the plot reason? Yeah, I liked him. I liked him a lot.
Yeah. I think he was probably like the more interesting of the Fast and Furious villains.
I can't even think of another villain. Oh, there's Shaw.
Oh, right.
Remember when he killed Han?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that. I was like, wait, why is he working with this guy? He killed Han, but then
Hobbs never really knew Han.
So he wouldn't know. He was like, this guy kills people all day.
So, okay, who do you think, because there was a voice that was kind of like, was Brixton's boss.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think that was? Because they kept saying that they knew Hobbs.
Yeah. I like that you predicted Charlize Theron from the last Fast and Furious.
Because she got away, right? That in Fate of the Furious?
I don't remember.
I think she did.
I'm hoping it's someone different. Because unlike what I said about Marvel movies, villains reappearing, I'd like it to be someone new so that we can kind of like have Hobbs and Shaw have like a villain of their own and not just like pull another one from the Fast and Furious. This doesn't need to be like a Tony Stark situation where like every villain is related to the Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Dom created all of their villains.
What?
The dude lives at a quarter mile at a time. Things are bound to happen.
Just making poor decisions one after the other. I should really think ahead. No, I said this in the first movie. Quarter mile.
What did you think of Vanessa Kirby, played Shaw's sister, the girl with the virus in her hand?
I liked her.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, I'd try. Like, there wasn't really any moment that really stuck out to me that was bad. Like, I didn't like the fact that like she was the almost felt like she was playing big sister, like two brothers fighting. But like, I don't know what else you could have done.
Yeah,
for this kind of movie, you know?
Oh my goodness. I just realized how much more like Tango and Cash this is. Because which one was Stallone? Was he Cash? Whichever one.
Yeah.
Whichever one Stallone was. He had a sister that Kurt Russell kept hitting on.
Yeah.
Man, it's Tango and Cash.
No, like, it's different. It's different. These guys don't have hair.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, I really liked her. She never felt like a third wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She was kind of like her own character.
Yeah, and she was often doing her own stuff. And
actually, the balance between Hobbs and Shaw bickering and her stepping in and her doing her own thing was done pretty well.
Yeah,
because like you never thought that, you never felt like she was gone and she only stepped in for like the comic relief to kind of like stop the bickering.
Yeah,
she had a role and like she had a presence between the two of them, so like you never forgot about her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of nice. Because holy crap, there's a lot of like male testosterone flying around this movie.
Yeah, she was definitely needed too. Mm-hmm. And I liked that she was, this is going to sound sexist, but I liked that she was very feminine. Because one thing I don't like of the other Fast and Furious movies, all the women in that, like they feel like as one of the guys.
Yeah, because then everyone kind of blends in together.
She didn't look anything like Jason Statham, but I thought she kind of looked like Helen Mirren a lot, who plays their mom.
Mm-hmm. The hair helps.
Something that bothered me, actually, here's an actual nitpick. So they go to see Helen Mirren in jail.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like full on wearing makeup.
She has jewelry on too.
Yeah. Like where?
Would you see her room though? She's pretty decked out. I feel like she just has some good connections.
I guess so.
Kind of like how Kingpin does in like Daredevil. He just has.
Okay. I guess that makes sense.
She took her handcuffs off. They didn't do anything. She just gave them to the guard.
And you're like, all right, you get back in your cell, you. Boy, you really drive me up a wall. Yeah, it was nice seeing her again. I like Helen Mirren. I liked her in the other. I think it was Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
It was the last time we saw her.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of expecting Luke Evans to show up. The other Shaw. I can't remember his first name.
Didn't he die?
Did he die?
His brother, right? How many brothers does he have?
There was one who was the original bad guy Shaw.
Yeah.
And then they seemingly killed him. But they revealed at the end credits when Shaw kills Han, isn't it like he in a hospital? Like he's in a coma or something like that. And Shaw's like, I'm going to get them for you.
Yeah.
That was a terrible Statham.
It was, but.
I'm going to get those guys. I'm going to kill that Japanese man with my car. And then I'm going to drink Coronas with him. Be part of that family.
He did. That's messed up.
Yeah. So yeah, there was the original Shaw, and then Jason Statham was the bad guy in
'Cause there was
7, I think, and then in 8, both of them came back to save that baby on the plane.
Because there was a line where he's like, "You made me kill my
You
own
made me
brother."
kill my brother, and it actually made me like pause and be like, did he kill his brother? But I think what he was talking about was Brixton.
Yeah.
Because he considered him his brother, and then Brixton came to kill him, and so he's like, I gotta kill you.
Okay.
And so he shot him in the head, and then they like revived him and made him Black Superman.
Actually, they never really say where he shot him in the head, but like he's got like his lower teeth were silver. I'm guessing they were replaced. Do you think that's where they shot him? Hit him in the
Oh,
spine. That's why he needed a new spine.
that makes a lot of sense. Because I too was like looking on his head, like you'd
Yeah.
think there'd at least be like a scar, like where the bullet hit him.
Just a plate. It's
I think that would be cool though. Like if you just had a hole right in the middle of his forehead.
but like rather than just a scar, almost like a loony place on top just to hide the hole. Open. That's like the port where they upload all the information to his spine.
Yeah.
See, we should work for like tech companies, medical tech. So many good
You
ideas.
put an input to the spine at the front of the skull. See, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it has to go through the brain.
See, then you're hitting 2 for the price of 1.
There are feats of strength in this that are so dumb that they're unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like because there's always been like some dumb ones where like Vin Diesel does like a flying headbutt into somebody in one of the Fast and the Furious movies, like from across the room. There's always been dumb stuff like that, but The Rock does some stuff in it where it's like it pulls me out of the movie because it's like,
really?
Like no one can do that.
But wait, does it pull you out of the movie in a good way or like? I guess it's not really. How can you be pulled out of a movie in a good way? I take that back. I don't know. You know what? I thought about that in the first few, but then like just because of what kind of movie this is, and just because of how big The Rock is compared to everyone else, just like, yeah, I can believe that.
Well, like there's like some stuff where it's like someone jumps from one car to the other and he catches them. It's like, okay, that's nearly impossible. Probably is impossible, but I believe it. But then there's like moments where he clotheslines a guy on a motorcycle while he's driving the other way and then grabs him and then hits him against the wall as they drive by.
Yeah, that was in the trailer, in case you're interested.
Oh, okay. No one can do that without their arm being ripped off. I don't care how big you are.
Oh, there was so as these guys are fighting Idris Elba's character, when they go to swing at him, there's like a little heads-up display from Idris Elba's like point of view, and it does like it analyzes their hits and like when to dodge and probability of like hitting. But there's one point that it like targets Hobbs' fist, and it shows like the power of it, like how many pounds of force.
Yeah.
And it was like 1,200 pounds.
1,200 pounds of force, yeah.
I was like, what?
I wonder how much a regular punch is.
Is this worthy of looking at?
It might be.
Let's see. A study of 12 karate black belts show so-called reverse punches delivered an average force of 325 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Another study found martial artists needed 687 pounds of force to break a concrete slab 1.5 inches thick.
So, okay. So they're saying average is 300. Martial artists, 600. Luke Hobbs, 1,200.
But like he's also like 3 times the size of like an average person. I feel like 1,200 is like stretching the realm of believability, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they really want to make him look like he's a superhuman. It's just interesting that they do that where it's just like, yeah, he's like super strong, like he's superhuman, and they have a literal superhuman in it. You know what I mean? Like it kind of oddly enough, like with the literal superhuman, they're like wanting you to take that seriously, but at the same time, it's like he is like cartoony, fake strong. You know what I mean?
Well, like the last fight, they were like going hand to hand combat with everyone, and like seeing Hobbs like kick people, like he was kicking people like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
But then you jump to Idris Elba, and he punched some guy, and he would fly about the same distance. It's like, that's pulling his punches. What's going on?
Yeah.
Black Superman. What the hell?
Yeah. Is there any moments that kind of stand out to you, good or bad?
Actually, I will say this: the pacing in this movie is really good. You know what? There might be like 1 or 2 scenes that I would have cut out, but like there's never a moment where like I'm bored.
Okay.
Like, yeah, throughout the speeches at the end about family, like, oh, okay, I could skip this, but it's like 2 minutes.
I would agree with you for the most part. I found as we were getting towards the last act, like when they're escaping the facility and the whole thing is blowing up behind them and they're fighting on the truck.
Yeah.
And I just had that thought because the trailer spoiled everything in this movie.
Oh yeah, I feel like trailers have touched every scene in this movie.
So anyway, as I'm watching this scene, I would just like, I sat there, I was like, we still have to go to Hawaii or wherever they were.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have to do like the tribal dance. We still have to introduce his brothers and his mom. And I was just like, oh, there's still so much more. And I think because of that point I had to pee. But what was the other thing? We kind of joked about it in the theater, but there's all sorts of time. Like there's a literal countdown in this movie. Cause I can't remember how many hours she has before the virus like takes hold in her body and becomes airborne.
They acknowledged it at 30 hours and it was 48. So they had 18 hours.
She had 48 hours?
Yeah.
I thought this movie took place over like 3 days. Okay. So she had 48 hours before the capsules dissolved and the virus became active.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're supposed to take it that seriously, but I just kept thinking like throughout the movie, how much time they wasted doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of it was the point because it's supposed to be like, you guys are bickering right now. Like we have this to do. But there was other times, like I joked to you, like they're like, oh, well, we only have 1 day left. We have to go somewhere. They're not expecting us home. Let's waste 12 hours on an airplane going to Hawaii when we could just stay here. And like,
but they didn't have any.
They didn't have the world's best mechanic to fix the circuits. But it'd be stuff like that, or they'd be like, I know the best place to get a drink. And it's just like, you drove across town to get a drink here?
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah,
Like,
and that part I was like, really? Did we just acknowledge that there was a time limit?
Yeah. Oh wait, no wait, his bunker was down there. And they did IDs and stuff. Never mind. Okay,
that's when they realized, hey, we have 18 hours to do this.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway, so it was just stuff like that. And then there was that moment because there's a point in it where she's hooked up to a machine that's going to extract the virus from her, but it takes a half hour. And then like 20 minutes of movie passes by and you see the timer again and 9 minutes has passed.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
you're like, what?
Well, the battle had started. It was nighttime when they came. And then when they checked it, the sun was up. Like it wasn't sunrise. It was up.
Noon.
Yeah. And it was like 9 minutes. I was like, what?
That was one thing too, while they were explaining their plan to each other. Like that's when they started becoming simpatico, right? And they're finishing each other's sentences. Mm-hmm. They're really becoming a team, Victor. And
I can't.
And so there's one part and it's like, we'll do it at dawn because that's when the enemy's most tired and you still have the cover of nightfall.
Aren't you tired?
Yeah. Like, won't you be tired too?
You were up all night digging holes.
Digging holes for what reason? To put propane in them?
Yeah, they launched the things up into the air.
Yeah.
Because they knew helicopters would be coming out.
Oh, and it's also like, how can you control when the enemy shows up?
Oh, I think they were saying like that's the most obvious time that they would show.
Oh.
You think though?
I mean, to be fair, I couldn't understand Jason Statham for most of this movie.
But to be fair though, you think knowing that this virus is going to like explode and you need it, you'd think you would just go as soon as possible.
Right? Just charge in. You're Black Superman.
Yeah.
You got guns. They don't have guns. Well, you didn't know that, but still.
I like that like midway through their like speech or dance, the guy was like, all right,
shoot him.
Yeah. I'm done with this.
Yeah. What did you think of the deactivate, activate guns thing?
Oh, the guns that needed like the
special gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Like, typical situation. If you lose a gun, you don't want your enemy like picking it up and using it on you.
Mm-hmm. I didn't understand like the logic behind it after, because like I get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's when it's in your hand, it's activated. But I didn't like that. It's like you activate it and then it's just activated, so you can put it down and it's still activated.
I think it's like once you activate, you have like period of time you can use it. But then she also, the girl or his sister, what's her name again?
Shaw. I don't know.
Female Shaw picked up the gun with a glove on though. So,
but there is a part in it where Shaw at the beginning of the movie when he gets out of the elevator, there's two guys. He fights one of them and one of them activates the gun and he just picks it up after the fact and is using it. I don't know. These are all nitpicks. I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I love this movie. This might be the next movie I buy.
Yeah, me too. This will be the only Fast and Furious movie I will own.
Really? You don't, what?
No, I don't own any of the other ones.
What?
Why would I?
I totally thought you did.
No.
This is actually kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, has your world changed now?
I don't know. I thought that because you love the series, don't you?
No.
What?
They're dumb. They're so dumb, Victor.
I thought that's why you liked them.
Not enough to be like, I want to watch this again and again and again and again. Anyway, so Hobbs and Shaw. If you've seen the trailers and you're like, I kind of like what this movie's doing in the trailers, that's the movie. Like you will enjoy this movie. It's the trailers do not lie about what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. There's some surprise cameos that we've spoiled. It gets a little dumb at the end, a little cheesily, as Victor has put. But I'd recommend it.
There's 3 end credit scenes,
which are all worth it.
Yeah, I like them all.
I like this movie so much. I wish they'd just stop making Fast and Furious movies and just continue with Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, Vin Diesel would be so upset.
I know. Know who would be really upset? Tyrese. Did you see his Instagram post about when Hobbs and Shaw was announced?
No.
He was near, I think he was in tears, and he was like yelling at the Rock and being like, way to make it about you. I can't remember.
Yeah, because it was his decision. Listen, if you go on set and you kill it and people like it, it's.
Victor, would you recommend this movie?
Well, I did say I would buy it.
That doesn't mean you'd recommend it. You buy all sorts of crap.
That's true. I did have Fast and Furious 3 on DVD.
That's like the worst one.
It's not.
Vin Diesel's at the end of that one.
Let's be honest. Number 2 was pretty rough.
Yeah?
The point is,
you used to
own crap. But yes, I would recommend this movie. 100%.
Yeah.
If someone asked me to go watch it, I would probably go see it again.
You want to go see it again?
Not you.
No.
Anyone but you. Anything else you want to say?
No.
You wrap this up?
I mean, I'm sure there is, but I don't know what else. We've bounced all around in this movie.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's funny. Go watch it.
Yeah, just go watch it.
The bickering alone is worth it.
Anyways, that's been a review. Let us know what you think of the Fast and the Furious movies and how you thought about what you thought. Damn it, Josh. Come on.
I didn't. What did I do? I've just been sitting here.
Exactly. Anyways.
Do it again, Victor.
Let us know what you think about this movie if you've seen it and what you thought about the other Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh my gosh. You're the worst. You know that?
Probably. Yeah, leave a comment. And if you want to get in touch with us directly, you can email us at averageUninformed@gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.